Hello, my name is Juan Vides. I'm the founder and host of Winning on Wednesday. WoW is a virtual network platform that brings together between 50 to 80 members weekly to share ideas, discuss their business, and to get to know each other. We encourage the building of relationships before doing business. As I often say, people do business who they know, like, and trust. And today's guest, I know for many years, is a personal friend of mine, and I have an honor to introduce him, is Ray Schwetz. How are you, Schwetz? How you doing, Ray?
I'm doing well, Juan, and the honor's all mine. Thank you very much. I'm
Yeah.
so happy to be here.
Oh, thank you. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
So, I guess best way to start is I've been married for 27 years. I have three daughters, aged 21, 14, and 12. I have four women in the house, and I have one bathroom, so I'm no stranger to challenges and overcoming them. I'm 33 years working in the financial services and banking industry, focused on Long Island. I'm a lifelong Long Islander, and I enjoy reading, creative writing, concerts, films. I also have two radio shows that I host, Tower Talk Business Radio, co-hosted with Denisha Boston Hill, where we interview top business leaders in the industry, and Sonic Cinema, which is where I DJ movie music, both on 90.3 WHPC, the Nassau Community College radio station. So I guess that's a little bit about me.
Yeah, well, thank you. And just so people don't know, Ray and I know each other for many, many years, as I mentioned, and I always say people
Yes.
know, like, and trust. But I know you since like Wachovia Bank. I remember you in Wachovia. You used to work for Wachovia Bank, right?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, that was many, many years ago. That's just to let people know. I do remember you from that time, believe it or not.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
That goes way back.
that goes way back, exactly. So, but it's interesting because we would run each other into network events all the time, and that's how you really get to know people. And here we are. And you interviewed me too on your radio as well. When I had ran for office, you interviewed me. That was great, and I'm over here returning the favor now. So,
Well, thank you for that. And you were a great guest. Yeah, you have a wonderful story yourself.
I had a fun time with you and your co-host. It was amazing. It was great. So now it's my turn. So tell me about what I'd like to start the meeting is where it all began. Tell me about and it's all business related, obviously. And tell me what your mom and dad did for a living. What did mom and dad do for a living?
Sure. Well, my dad, he worked for IBM for 30 plus years.
Oh, wow.
He began, working when computers were the size of a large room, kind of like the Whopper in the movie War Games.
I remember that. Yes, I remember that. Shall we play a game? Yes.
Yep. So, and my mom was a teacher before she left to raise me and my brothers.
So, Ray, I have a confession to make, and
Yes,
I'm going to tell all the listeners. I am a closeted nerd. The War Games was one of my favorite movies in the 80s. So I remember the pterodactyl. You remember the flying pterodactyl? Like that was my favorite part of the scene of the movie. The remote control pterodactyl. I don't know if you remember that.
I'm trying to think. I'm like, where was that?
Yeah, well, you see, you got to do the movie though.
Yeah, I have to watch it again.
Yeah, but there's a scene where he has a remote control flying pterodactyl, which was pretty cool. I thought it was amazing. I was like, wow. I always fascinated with things that flew. So I always wanted like a remote control helicopter and all that stuff. But
Sweet.
I got a drone, and to be honest with you, I never used it. The novelty wore off when you get older. As you get older, when you're young, you're excited, you want these things, but when you get older, you can afford these things, and they're not as what they used to be as a kid.
Yes.
So tell us, as a kid, what did you want to be when you wanted to grow up?
So I guess with my dad, you're working at IBM, he used to bring home the computer parts. So it was pretty cool. Sometimes he'd come home with keyboards and monitors that no longer were working. And I used to pretend that I was Captain Kirk or Han Solo or Flash Gordon. So they're who I wanted to be when I grew up.
Yeah.
I was not a closeted nerd. I was pretty wide open about it.
Yeah. I was, the kids that I hang out with, they're too cool for that. But I love that. I love comic books and even I'll tell you something. You're gonna love this. I used to subscribe to Fangoria magazine.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. But then, I used to be into the horror movies and all that stuff. But then again, I just wore off a lot of this stuff. It was probably I was just going through these trends and stuff, I guess. And
Oh.
tell me a little bit about the role models, your role models, besides Flash Gordon and
Well,
and Captain Kirk. Who were other like role models that inspired you? I mean, any novelists, people that inspired you today?
yeah, I found inspiration in a lot of different places. Certainly, I mean, the stuff that I liked, the stuff I enjoyed, like the comic books and science fiction and what I read, had a lot of strong, both male and female leaders that I could look up to with great qualities. But I would say my first role model over my years, it was my parents. And it kind of evolved as I evolved, right? You look up to different people. Moved on to my father-in-law, who was a retired narcotics detective. And he had a heart attack on the job, and he still found a way to raise 4 daughters and build up real estate. And I looked up to him for what he did. I have a boss who I greatly respect, who I work for at Jovia. And so he's somebody that I kind of model a lot of my decisions after. I read and listen a lot, so I'm a big fan of Ryan Holiday. And I would say right now, he's somebody that is a role model for me right now with his Daily Stoic and Daily Dat podcasts. And he shares a lot of high standards that we can strive for.
Absolutely. And tell us, I mean, yeah, I'm curious about your hobbies and your interests. I know you spoke about a little bit of that, and I know you recommended me one time. It was what's it, MonsterCom, and I went there and I had a blast. So thank you for that recommendation, by the way.
Oh, you got it. No, my pleasure. Those autograph conventions are a lot of fun because you get to meet a lot of celebrities, and I still keep up with those. Like you said, it's not that I buy so much stuff because different when we were kids, but right now my hobbies are really reading. I love concerts, and I love movies. I'm a big Stephen King fan, so I'm reading Fairy Tale right now by Stephen King. So, and I love movie scores, which is why I DJ that radio show Sonic Cinema. So those are my hobbies right now.
Oh wow. And I was so jealous because you got a picture of John Carpenter. So right, you met John Carpenter, was correct? Was that correct?
Yes, yeah, I met
S-
him. We saw him in concert twice when he came around with a band, and met him at Monster Mania, a
yeah.
autograph con right around Halloween. It was a great time to meet him.
Yeah, then I was like, wow, the guy, I mean, he's so many great movies, and one of my favorites movie was Escape from New York. So that was with Kurt Russell.
Oh, that's a classic. Yes.
Yeah, and then Big Trouble, was it Big Trouble in Little China, right? Didn't he do that or no? That was
Yeah.
somebody. Yeah, right. Yeah. A lot of people don't realize that was another of my favorite movies. So I'm a big John Carpenter fan, and you wouldn't know that.
Those are fun movies. Very, very cool stuff. And he was a very cool guy to meet and talk with.
And Ray, just to let you know, out of your hobbies, because we follow each other on social media, everything. I always see that you're bringing back the '80s movies to your kids, and I just started doing that too. Last week we watched Gremlins; it was great. I'm looking forward to bringing back all the '80s movies. It revisits my youth too, and it's nice. And all of this started with Stranger Things, because my kids were into Stranger Things, and that's bringing
Yes.
back the '80s and all that stuff. So for me, it was just like a revisiting, like the '80s when I watch these movies, like wow, that was that was the car I used to drive, like that thing, like that was my first car. Like wow, like it was pretty cool to see the movie again, and the quality is so good too. It's not your TV, VHF or UHF. What is that? The quality is amazing. It's high, like HD quality with these movies. They remastered a lot of these great movies from the '80s.
Yeah, they look like they were made yesterday.
Correct. So that's it's really amazing. So, tell us about you. What did you go to school for? What did you major in?
So I majored in economics. I mean, I started at Nassau Community College. I really wasn't too sure what I wanted to do as far as a career. I wasn't very good in school. I had trouble paying attention. And I decided that Nassau Community College kind of made sense because it wasn't as expensive, and I could help kind of find my way. So I really attribute Nassau Community College to helping me figure out what it was I wanted to do. I took a class in banking, and I had just started as a teller part-time at Roosevelt Savings Bank in New Hyde Park. And I was doing very well there. And then they said to me, hey, if you go you should go full time with us and then you'll be making a better salary. And I said, well, I still am going to school. And they said, well, if you go full time and you just go at night, we'll pay for your school as long as you get A's, or, B's, you get 75%, A's, you get 100%. So I went from being a C student to being a Dean's List student very quickly. So yeah, that's kind of where I started with school in economics. That's where I found my calling. And then I switched over to NYIT in Old Westbury. I stayed on the Dean's List and I graduated magna cum laude. And again, I attribute a lot of that to Roosevelt Savings Bank and also to Nassau Community College.
I went to Nassau Community College, and to your point, I didn't know what I wanted to do. And I went for liberal arts. And I think that was probably the best thing that I did when I went to Nassau Community College. I went for liberal arts because you get your prerequisites out of the way. You get your 101s, your math 101s, your English and all that stuff. You're going to need all that stuff for any, degree that you're going to go for. And, and I wasn't a good student either when I was in high school. In fact, I failed the Regents math, and so much so that I didn't even get my Regents diploma because I failed it by 1 point. But then I came and went to school for computer programming, and I needed calculus and I needed all that. But I applied myself later on in life, and I got a B in calculus. So I was really proud of myself because I was a person who hated math like a passion and avoided it like the plague. I ended up getting a B in calculus.
Yeah. I mean, it's amazing when you find that motivation, whatever that is. And again, I'm very grateful to Nassau Community College. I'm a strong advocate for them because I feel like a lot of parents send their kids off and they spend so much money in college. And as you said, you can get your prerequisites pretty much anywhere. You can graduate with your liberal arts degree, transfer the credits, and then you're not in debt. And people look at where you graduated from, the four-year school. They're not necessarily looking at, oh, well, you went to Nassau Community College. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but they'll see, oh, I was a graduate from NYIT, So it's, I think it's an important thing to advocate for.
Absolutely. And from Nassau Community College, I owe pretty much all my credits transferred to Farmingdale State, college. So when I went to Farmingdale College and I did 2 years, so I did 2 years in Nassau and 2 years in Farmingdale University at that time. And it was great. And I got a lot of great people, great friends at Nassau Community College, as yourself. I know Dr. Garden. I'm friends with Dr. Garden and Jerry Kornbluth as well. He's a good friend of mine as well. So I know these people, but you get to know them through networking, and it's just really amazing how you get to know people. So it's pretty cool and it's amazing. So hopefully I'll get to have them on the show eventually. So tell us, when you you made your career mostly in banking, right? And tell us a little bit about that, your journey in the banking world. How has that been?
So, I mean, the journey's definitely been it's been a wonderful journey for me overall. There's been ups and downs for sure. I wasn't making the money that I wanted to make in Long Island banking, doing what I was doing. I love working for Roosevelt Savings Bank. They're a great company to work for. But I was getting married, needed to make more money. So I explored opportunities and found TIAA-CREF, and I worked in the city for 11 years. Great company to work for. Really loved working at TIAA. Loved my time there. Went out on my own, and I worked as a life insurance guy, commission only. Very tough, and it was a big learning step for me in what the difference is, because I did great at TIAA-CREF, but I had clients that were coming to me that were already part of a portfolio. It's different when you're developing your own, right? So it was very hard. And then I had recruiters calling me from banking in Long Island, and I returned to banking in Long Island for that stability. But I got tired of kind of changing shingles every couple of years, because that's what happens in the banking industry when you're working for commercial banks. Unless you're lucky enough to ascend the ranks very quickly, it's you wind up working in an area, kind of saturate the area, and then you got to move on. And often that means changing shingles if you want to do well. The financial meltdown hit in 2008, 2009, and I really started to question if I had made the right decision to go into banking, and I was considering a career change. And I was a member at NEFQ at the time, which became Jovia later, of course, where I work now. And this was 13 years ago. I walked into the branch and I was doing my banking, and I was joking with the guys saying, hey, it's too bad, credit unions don't do business banking, because that's what I do. And you'd be very lucky to have me work for you, like joking around. They said, well, actually, we do business banking. And I said, you do? I said, are you hiring for that area? And they said, well, yeah, we're trying to find our way with it. I said, listen, I got my resume in the car. Can I speak with somebody?
Wow.
And they brought me in. I met with Kelly Carey, who's our recruiter now, still there. And I owe it to her that she gave me the opportunity to speak with someone. And I spoke with the person who was my boss. She brought me up to the CEO, and basically I was hired the next day, running business banking at Jovia.
Wow, it's truly amazing, and for a lot of people who don't know, I've also been a member of NEFCU for many years, and it took me a while for me to get to the name Jovia, and now I get it. I understand why you guys did that. You want to explain I heard the reason why, but you want to explain why the name change from
Sure.
NEFCU to Jovia?
Sure. Well, with credit unions and banks, so credit unions are owned by their members. So, we work for you as the member. Everything that we do is focused on the member in terms of, like they're our boss. They own a piece of the cooperative. They own a share in the credit union. We're not working to generate income to please shareholders that are outside of the credit union. And that's our model as opposed to the banks. So a lot of folks who, were with NEFCU, for us to change the color scheme and the marketing to Jovia, it was quite a big switch, and it took a little getting used to. The reason that we did it, quite frankly, is because if we stayed as NEFCU, stayed just with educators, our core base of educators means so much to us, the members who are there who are educators, and we still are very much focused on developing for that group. But for us to maintain competitiveness and to maintain higher rates on deposits and lower rates on loans and better services, we really need to expand and to grow and to keep up with the competition and surpass them. So we focused on what it was that we could do to be different from our competitors and to continue to grow in the marketplace to benefit those members and as well as gain new ones. So yeah, for us to expand, it was really necessary. And just to give you an example, if I'm out in Manhattan and I'm doing a commercial mortgage and I say I'm doing it for NEFCU, they're going to ask me what that stands for. And I used to say, oh, well, it's like Geico. I mean, it doesn't, government employee insurance agents, government employee insurance company, but it's Geico. It doesn't really matter now, Same thing with NEFCU. We were NASA educators. But as soon as they heard NASA educators, they would think and pigeonhole us.
Correct. No, everybody had the perception that you had to be a teacher or an educator to join the credit union. That's it. So the fact that you guys name change it and open it to everybody, it's truly amazing, and it's wonderful to see that. And I've been a longtime member of Jovia, and to see people, to have my friends the lime green card, to see that card every time, I'm like, oh man, that's awesome. It brings a smile. It's a bright day at Jovia. It brings a smile to my face every day, every time I see the green cards, because a lot of people don't know this, but a lot of credit unions have non-for-profits, and as a non-for-profits, they work for their members, and a lot of the other banks are for profit. So to your point, they care about their members. So it's a little bit more of a community, I think, with credit unions and culture as well, because they care. It's a caring culture.
Yes. Yeah, entirely. We're focused on that member. And look, if the member is not happy with my service, they can go right to our website and contact my CEO and contact our chairman. Because, again, they are the focus of everything that we do. When we sit around our executive boardroom and talk about making decisions, the member is who we're focused on. How is this decision impacting the member? Is it putting them in a space where they'll be financially successful? That's the most important part of any decision we make.
And you know what? And like in any type of relationship, it hasn't been perfect. We've, like you said, we've had ups and downs. But I got to be honest, I've been very, like, the thing that really made me stick to Jovia was the people. I love the people. I developed a relationship just like you, but with other people in the branches, and get to know their names. And it's just that feeling, that love. that you get, and that's why I would never want to go away to no other, nowhere else. I wouldn't want to do business maybe with Jovia, because it's that love that you get when you greeted at the door. It's just the customer experience. That's what's different. And that's what's lacking now in the world today with AI and automation. You go to CVS, you go to a shopping center, it's auto checkout, but it's
Yes.
all about the customer experience. That's lacking. And people that recognize that, they're on the wells to make a lot of money.
Yep, it's true. And look, we're focused on innovation. There's a certain amount of automation that I think folks who are banking today that they're looking for. So it's something that we incorporate, but we never lose focus on, well, how do we keep that service personalized? We have a unique teller setup where it's kind of like an indoor drive-through in that, we're dealing with people on video screens, but the personalities that develop, it's interesting. We have folks who are asking for specific tellers because they like working with that teller. So you still build those relationships. And of course, we have people at our concierge desk, and we have our member service representatives. So there's always a personal touch, as well as, the automation for those who are looking for it.
And as I often say, people do business with people they know, like, and trust. And I have to tell you, those ATMs, I'm in love with those ATMs. They're brand new. They're very sophisticated. They look futuristic. I'm like, wow, I was blown away when I saw those ATMs.
Yep. And they're called ITMs.
ITMs. Okay. Okay.
No, that's okay. And the main difference is because you can use it like an ATM, but you can also use it, and work with a teller, work with an actual human being.
Is the I stand for information, or ITM? I've never heard of it. I never heard of it before, believe it or not. So, but
I
is
think
it really
it's intelligent teller
Oh,
machines?
yes, it makes sense. Yes, yeah.
I think that's what it means. Yes.
Yeah,
Don't
yeah.
quote me.
No, that's okay. No worries. We're not gonna hold it to you. But the thing is, it's just truly amazing that that with the technology that you guys have, it's just and by the way, the when you walk into any branch, particularly the headquarters, you guys did a tremendous makeover, and it looks so modern, so futuristic. It feels like I'm at an Apple store.
Yeah, that's where we're going for. We really wanted to show folks that, hey, we still have the people, we still are very focused on personal service, but we're striving to be innovative in what we're doing. So and giving people that warm, welcoming feeling, but also that kind of like an awesome, like, wow, we're really advancing. We want people to feel that as well.
Yeah, wow. Now we're at our halfway mark of our meeting, and this is the time where I would like to ask you for any information that you'd like to share with a business owner to make them better. I like to call this piece the Wow Golden Nugget. Are there any a piece of advice that you would like to give to our listeners?
Sure. Well, the first thing I would say is that, and you hear this all the time, but sometimes we forget it. We have two ears and one mouth, right? So I feel like I always do best when I listen, because then you're really, when someone's telling you something, focus on what they're talking about. Don't worry about anything else at that moment. Live in that moment, listen to that person and see what it is. And don't worry about what you're going to say to that. Because sometimes people, and I'm guilty of it myself, you're listening to someone and you want to make a nice impression, or you want to show the person you're interested. So the intent is there, but you're looking for, well, what am I going to say? How am I going to jump in? Don't worry about that. Just hear the person out and, make sure that you actually digest what it is that they're saying to you. Some folks are so anxious to get noticed that they'll just jump right in without actually fully listening. So I'd say that that's the one thing that when I stick to that, I seem to do better. And when it comes to networking, you and I are both avid networking people. So, and it's great now that folks are doing more in person as well as in virtual, because we need both to connect with folks. I have a rule with networking in that I don't go worrying about spreading out my cards to as many people as possible. I'll go there just purely to reconnect with folks that I already know, and I'll talk with them, catch up with them, and I'll look for whoever's in the room that might seem like maybe they're either uncomfortable or they're not speaking to anyone, and they're in the corner, at a table by themselves. Then I'll walk up and introduce myself. And I do that primarily to just make them feel welcome. And I found that it's interesting who you meet that way, because sometimes folks just want to be left alone, and that's okay. You can kind of read that pretty quickly. But oftentimes they feel uncomfortable. So you making conversation with them will bring them out of their shell. And then you can introduce them to the folks that you know. And I found that I've made some great connections that way. It's not just about making the connections, but it's also just the right thing to do. It's being a good human being.
Well, and it shows value too, because particularly when in the network world, as you know, it's like dating. You got to get to know each other before you do any kind of business, but you have to show their value. Sometimes people it's takers. There's a lot of takers in this world, and I don't deal with takers. I only deal with people that give and help out others. It's about givers gain and helping about others, and I
Yes.
think by you doing that, by helping out others, you're showing value. And so you don't need money. You don't need monetarily, but by you helping others, just by information, or helping out their business, or anything you can do to help out a friend, that shows value. Now you have value. Now you have to replicate that over and over and do that with everybody. And you'll be surprised that things will start opening and opportunities will start opening. And then before you know it, you have 6 companies like myself.
Yes.
But that's the thing. And I always say a closed mouth doesn't get fed. You need to consistently be out there networking, talking, and preaching to the choir about your business, because if you're not, nobody else is going to do it. And a lot of people don't realize that it takes work, physical work to do it. You have to go out there and do the work.
Correct. Oh, 100%. And I feel like the networking is where it's very important. You have to be out there, and you can do it in different ways. The way that I like networking is it's not just going to business events, but it's, I found when I started working at NEFCU 13 years ago, I looked for organizations within the community that I felt passionate about, for causes I felt passionate about. And you become involved with their planning committees, and you're meeting other like-minded individuals, and you're rolling up your sleeves with them, and you're working towards a common cause, and you're getting to know each other. You're getting to like each other. You're getting to trust each other. So what's going to happen when business comes up? Of course, they're going to come to you. Ray, you're a banker, right? Yeah. Listen, I have this client that wants this $5 million commercial mortgage. Is this something you can help with? And I've had opportunities come that way. And it's nice because it's organic growth, and it's true relationships you're building, and you're not just trying to hit them up for business. You're really doing something like, you're working towards a goal. You're handing out food to folks who are experiencing food insecurity at Long Island Harvest, and you're working together doing that. You're working for Cohen's Children's Hospital, on a planning committee, and because you care about what's happening to the children who are being treated. I'm a strong advocate for Leukemia Lymphoma Society for very personal reasons. And again, you're working with folks who are very passionate about that. And when you do that, business naturally develops, and you feel good about what you do.
Yeah. And so, Ray, tell us a little bit about that, the organizations that you belong to that have helped people, and tell us about your story about that.
Sure. Well, obviously I belong to WaMu, and that's been a wonderful experience.
Yes, no, I know that. Yeah. But no, but tell us about the leukemia, lymphoma, and all.
Sure.
All that. Yeah.
Sure. Well, yeah, I've been working with Ken Serini on the Imagine Awards since the inception, and that's opened up a world of nonprofits to me, because part of what you do is you're looking to award $5,000 grants in 5 categories to different nonprofits. And actually the application process is open now. So if you're a nonprofit listening, I strongly advise you to look up the Long Island Imagine Awards. It's a great way to get noticed for the good work that you're doing, and also the opportunity perhaps to win for the grant. But that gave me exposure to other organizations. And, I've worked with the Nassau Community College. I'm on their foundation board, again, because I'm an advocate for affordable education on Long Island. I think everyone has a right to education, and this is the way to do it. With the Leukemia Lymphoma Society, I myself am a cancer survivor. I'm a 7-year cancer survivor now, thank goodness.
Well, damn. Wow.
Yeah, had a recent scare, but it turned out to be nothing, turned out to be okay. But, around the anniversary date, you always get that little butterfly in the stomach feeling. And with Leukemia Lymphoma Society, the reason that I work with them, I attended their Light the Night, and it was just amazing in 2019, before the pandemic, to see all these lights in Eisenhower Park representing folks who are struggling with cancer, folks who are supporting people with cancer, or folks who are representing folks who had passed away because of cancer. And Leukemia Lymphoma Society doesn't just focus on leukemia, because a lot of their work, it stems out to all different types of cancers, and they have a very specific focus on children and how they're treated. Right now, children are treated with the same medication that adults are treated with, and it's very strong. So it's hard. There's a lot of side effects. It really is too much for children. That needs to change. My niece, Bella, had passed away at the age of 8 from a brain tumor. And, I try to honor her with the fact that I'm a survivor. I had worked with the surgeon that she worked with, actually. So it definitely brings it home to me that children need better treatment. And Leukemia Lymphoma Study, they're putting $175 million into the work on developing better treatments for children. So I strongly support them. And I certainly invite folks to look me up on Facebook.
Yes.
This way they can join my team and walk with me, or donate and spread the news. So I certainly encourage that.
And Ray, we're very glad and fortunate that you're still with us, and you're not done yet. You still have a lot more to do, and we have and more important, to educate people about this and the importance of it, because more and more you hear more cases, and it affects everybody's in the community and everybody. So I think the more we educate, inform ourselves, we could prepare ourselves for any things like this, and help out others too, and help out causes, and also donate too, because these kids need help. It pains me to hear that, with these kids, and I always have a soft spot for the kids. So if there's any place that they could make any donations or anything like that, where could they go, Ray, for that?
Oh, so yeah, I'd recommend, certainly you can just go to LLS and to the Long Island chapter, and there's information there. But if you'd like to go directly to me, I'm on Facebook, and my page is listed there. So certainly you can go there to either join my team or donate or share the information. I certainly would appreciate that.
Okay. And then you had mentioned the radio stations, right? Do you have the other radio stations, the 2 other radio stations about that? Your shows, you have 2 other shows, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Yeah. So go ahead. Would you like to mention about those shows?
Sure thing. Yeah. So Jovia is very supportive of the community, and they're very supportive of my endeavors in the community, and that they include working with Nassau Community College and the radio station. A lot of that has been good to me, because it's enabled me to meet so many businesses and business leaders and get their stories, because there's some wonderful stories out there. And Tower Talk Business Radio, that stemmed from Nassau Community College, from their Business Leaders Council. We got together as business leaders and talked about some of the challenges we face. And I thought, there's so many good stories here. We have a radio station here. Why don't we do a show where we talk about what businesses are facing? And, it's been a great experience. I've been doing it for 7 years. We have over 200 shows, interviewing business leaders like yourself, Juan. And,
yes, I was on that.
Yeah. And so we look forward to doing that. It's Thursdays at 3 at 90.3 WHPC FM. But we're also on iHeartRadio, TuneIn, Spotify, and we record the episodes as podcasts and release them after they air on Thursdays.
Oh, that's excellent.
Yeah, the Sonic Cinema one is just more of a personal thing. I enjoy movies. Like I said, huge nerd, and I love movie soundtracks. So I play themed shows every week. This week coming up, we just did Virgo directors, so directors who were born in September. And this week, what am I working on this week? We did Back to School. I'm blanking out on what I'm doing this week, actually. So, Martin Scorsese. We're doing a tribute to Martin Scorsese. So something new every week.
That's cool. Now we're gonna. How do we hear that, or how do we get to find that show?
Yeah, easiest way is if you have Alexa, just say, Alexa, listen, play WHPC, and it'll come on. I am on Sundays at 7 for Sonic Cinema, and Thursdays at 3 for Tower Talk. You can also find us on iHeartRadio if you type in WHPC. Tune in same way. Tower Talk is available as a podcast, so you can find them on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, anywhere, any good platform that you listen to your podcasts on.
Well, thank you. And finally, I like to leave the last section of our meetings is the services. Can you tell us a little bit about the services about Jovia, what they offer?
Sure. I wouldn't be able to do the work that I do in the community if it wasn't for Jovia's support. They strongly support and recognize, going out into the community, and the products and services that we offer on the commercial banking side, which is what I represent. It's a full suite of all the banking services and products. Folks don't realize that a credit union works in this space. And if you're looking for a commercial mortgage, or if you're fed up with fees, or if you need access to credit, you can come into one of our branches or check us out online at www.jovia.org, or contact me, 516-289-2409. That's my cell phone, my personal cell phone. So you can call or text me. Again, everything that a commercial bank offers, Jovia offers that. And we're well known for our push for innovation, as we talked about. The feedback on our home equity products and our no overdraft checking on the consumer side has been very positive. We've been, gaining a lot of membership because of how well we work with our home equity line of credit products. They're the lowest rates and best service and, quick closing. So, again, everything you want from a bank, the credit union offers, and the difference is that we work for you. So I'm not looking to charge fees from you, and then pass it off to a shareholder. You're the shareholder. We give you that benefit in the terms of higher rates on deposits and lower rates on loans.
Yeah, those HELOCs are great rates on the HELOCs loans. But what I was going to say, Winning on Wednesday, my new company, or my new LLC, had opened an account with Jovia Financial Credit Union. So
yes, thank you.
No, it's my pleasure. And actually, I have two other businesses with the credit union. So it's my pleasure to do business banking, and it's truly an honor to grow with Jovia and see that, and with the people too. Again, it's about the people and the caring people that you grow with the service. It's truly amazing, and I'm really honored to be a member of Jovia Financial Credit Union.
Well, thank you, and we're so glad to have you as a member. We appreciate all of our members. As I said, we're in business to work for you, and that's the main difference in everything that we do.
All right, well, Ray, thank you for sharing your story, and again, can you please tell our listeners the best way to contact you?
Sure. So best way to contact me directly is my cell phone. It's 516-289-2409. Call or text. Email is rschwetz. That's RSCHWETZ @Jovia, JOVIA.org. And certainly, if you just want to check out our website just to see what products and services we offer and how it can be a resource to you, it's www.jovia.org.
Okay, well, thank you. That's all for today's WOW podcast episode. I hope you enjoyed today's guest as much as we enjoyed it. Please keep on checking for their channel for inspiring stories and discussion to help out your business to grow. And if you'd like to become a member of Winning on Wednesday, simply go to www.winningonwednesday.com, scroll to the first time guest button, and follow the directions. And I hope to see you in our next meeting. Thank you, Ray, for our interview.
Thank you so much, Juan. Pleasure being here.